Bitcoin has surpassed $120,000 per Bitcoin this morning. It is going crazy, but is it too late to get into the game? I remember when it was like 9,000 and people were like saying, you got to buy Bitcoin. You got to buy Bitcoin. And then it just plummeted and it fell or whatever. And then they're like, man, those guys were trying to screw you or something. They're just trying to get something over you or something like that. Like they possess some hidden knowledge. It doesn't matter. It's at 120,000 right now, or like 122 or 121,000 right now. And it's going to fall. We know it's not going to keep soaring. It's going to fall. But the overall trajectory of Bitcoin is always trending up, and it's only going to go up, and it's only going to go up. So it's like, can you get in? Is it too late to get in and just get like rich? Maybe. Unless you got some buku money already, you might be able to make some bank. But either way, even when Bitcoin falls, I'm not even selling it. I'm holding on. I'm holding the line. And it's because I know it's going to go up, and Bitcoin, it's never losing value overall, because there's only so much out there that is available to be mined. And there's like a limit. There's a cap on it. And that's like the beauty of Bitcoin. So right now you can see it's over 120. So it's like, where are you at on this thing, in this whole cryptocurrency? I've heard like the other ones, all those other cryptocurrencies, the little ones, those little baby ones that are out there, like, those are kind of like the dog stuff out there, the pink sheets. But it's like the good stock, the great stock, the one that's going to last. There's Ethereum. There's also some solid ones out there that are strong, but the other ones are just like, I just saw there's fart coin. There's a fart coin out there that you can buy. There's a million. We can go down the list. I have, it's good to diversify. I mean, it's smart to diversify if you can, but like, because I have some that I'm just like hanging on, like, what if they go crazy? What if they go crazy? You would have looked insane if you were buying Bitcoin, and putting a lot into it when it was like $12 or $1 or however much it was when it first came out. I actually want to look it up because I had it pulled up a second ago. I just want to read this. Bitcoin is the first decentralized cryptocurrency based on a free market ideology. Bitcoin was invented in 2008 when an unknown entity published a white paper under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto. Use of Bitcoin as a currency began in 2009 when the release of its open source implementation. So I've heard like the guy like spent like almost $1 billion on a pizza. He had a couple pizzas delivered to his house back in probably 2012-ish or so, or 2010, and he paid it in Bitcoin, and he paid almost close to, it's probably over $1 billion now in what would have been 2 pizzas back then. It's because this is digital gold. This is digital gold. And it's like, it's not going to lose its value. The other ones are probably, all those other cryptocurrencies that are out there are probably going to hang around, but they're all going to be absorbed into this. It's like Bitcoin is going to be the main thing. I would say like it's never too late to buy in. Because this is the one that's actually going to last. It's actually going to be strengthened. If you want to set a legacy or set something, a nest egg for your family, your future, I would say, I'm not a financial advisor. I got to throw that out there. But I would say it is a smart thing to put something, have a little bit of in Bitcoin. Because even like the USD currency, it's always like shaky. It goes up and down, and Bitcoin, it does seem like it rides the market. It rides the stock market. If it's doing good, it's going up. I think people are pumping money into it, but like it's really determined by those whales that are out there. Those whales that have just like, and I'm just thinking about this guy out there that just invented Bitcoin, but the way that he did it, the algorithm and the way that he set it up is just like, it had to be, it's almost like something like was divinely inspired to put that together, because the way that it's put together and just, there's only so much out there that's available to get. And once we reach it, it's like, it's almost like a gold in itself, because you can only find so much gold on this planet. And that's why there's the gold standard and all that we used to have. And I would almost relate Bitcoin to gold in itself, but it's just the digital version. It could be the one world currency that we eventually kind of get absorbed into, and everything goes that way. But I mean, either way, like it's a smart place to put your money, I would say. But it's like, who's out there spending Bitcoin? Like, you say you got some Bitcoin on you. You're not really going to the 7-Eleven and dropping some Bitcoin. I want to buy my drink like this, I want to buy some Skittles or whatever. It is playing the long game, but it's like I would say it's almost like the currency that's not going to get devalued. It's going up and down right now because we're judging it based on the USD. But overall, like, I would much rather have a bunch of Bitcoin than a bunch of US dollars, honestly, because it's like there's only so much of Bitcoin, and the government can just print by fiat, just more and more. They're not even printing money. They've given up on that. That was all for show back in the day. Now it's just like making numbers go up and down on a screen. But I want to jump over to this. This is, you can kind of see this. It says, this is from CNBC, Bitcoin surpasses 120,000 to record highs ahead of U.S. lawmakers' crypto week. Says Bitcoin extended gains Monday, so that today, to hit a new milestone, breaking past 120,000, fueled by a rally in the cryptocurrencies ETFs. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization traded at 121,921 at 6:20 a.m. Eastern, according to data from Coinmetrics. Earlier in the session, it topped 122,000. So it's like, I've seen people online, like, they're saying, I think I'm going to go to sleep and Bitcoin's going to be over $1 million a Bitcoin. And we're going to probably get away. Like, it's going to eventually, this is why I a few months ago, I said, the U.S. is going to get into this. This is the government. They're going to try to basically take over Bitcoin. I really believe that. I think that will happen because, and I'm surprised that there's got to be a reason why these countries out there aren't like just sweeping it up and just grabbing all of it, because I know it's like to try to get decentralized, but it's like we used to have Fort Knox. We had a bunch of gold that we supposedly had, and then it was just, you don't see it anymore. They talked about, we're going to go in and check it out. Is that gold still there in the vault? I'm just surprised that the U.S., maybe they're just doing it under the scenes, the behind the scenes, where they don't want people to actually to see what they're doing. But whoever like is going to own the vast majority of Bitcoin is going to, like, who has the gold makes the rules. That's where we're going to go with Bitcoin. And I'm surprised it hasn't been bigger up until this point. I'm really surprised by that. And I would love to hear some financial guy or some guy that's just like knows so much about this stuff. Why aren't they doing that? And why doesn't the US just say, like, just, they got all this money they can print by whatever, and Bitcoin's being judged by the USD currency. Why aren't they just taking it on? Why aren't they just like using it as like the standard of the US? Why aren't they just buying all of it? They can print whatever they want, so why don't they just buy it all? And I think that's where it's eventually going to go. This is the next level. This is where we are at right now, where everybody's getting like a little hand there. I'm going to try to buy a little, and what you can get is probably going to be worth its weight in gold. Maybe that's a bad way of saying it, but I think it would be a smart thing to have some, because eventually, it's going to be blocked off. It's not going to be available there anymore. And then people are going to maybe just make up these fart coins and all this to try to, like, but they're not going to have the same value. It's going to be just next level with Bitcoin. So I would say get in on it if you can. And I would almost say just like, if you can buy a little bit, have it set up so you are buying so much at a time, like maybe per week or per month, just a certain amount. It doesn't have to be a lot, but setting up that you're getting some in your bank account, getting some in your possession, in your digital wallet, just getting some of it. But it's not the best time to buy when it's the high, because right now it seems like it's the high and everybody wants to run towards it. But I mean, I don't think it's going to drop dramatically like it has in the past. And every time it has dropped, it's always exponentially went up higher and higher. It's always doing that. It's going to be going back and forth based on those whales that are out there that are buying and selling, and they're just playing their own game, But the regular people out there, if you can get a piece of it, I would say that, even though I'm not a financial advisor. All right. I wanted to talk about Bitcoin because it is going bananas, but where are you at with this? Is it too late to get in on it? I don't think so. Too much. Is it too late to get like extremely rich by it? I mean, I guess it depends on how much money you have starting out, but it would still be wise to put something towards it, I would say, especially for the future and your family's future. All right. All right, so I hope you have a wonderful day. If you can, follow me on X and Instagram at Brandon Fogel. Have a great day. Peace.